Action.
Good evening, everyone. This is JASD News. We got some important breaking news for you today. First, let's start the breaking news with a 3D weather freeze the transportation. Let's took our camera to Eric, the correspondent.
Our sources told us weather had affected daily commute to work or school. Hundreds of schools had closed, and the school principal said the Secretary of Transportation just hadn't dealt with the problem. He felt the secretary should resign, and the member of public complained that why the roads hadn't prepared before the bad weather. Thank you.
And next, camera back to our uncle Jason. Okay, now this just in a new sports breaking news from just in that new athlete creates a new record. Okay, let's turn our camera to Jay. To say.
Yes, a new athlete has set a new record in 5,000 meters race, and he finishes in only 1 hour.
Oh, that's amazing. And how old is he?
He's only 14 years old.
Oh, wow, only 14. Now, how's he feeling now?
He said he was surprised, and he had won. He said he was surprised he won the race, but it was a great feeling.
It's really amazing. And the last one is our international news. It is said that the drug ring was trapped by the police. And now let's turn our camera to the correspondent.
The police arrested 40 people in one of the biggest drug rings, and the police said this will mean far fewer drugs out on the street. Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you, David. And that's all of our news today. Thanks for watching.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Mr. B News. There are some important news today. First, it's about transportation. We start with the breaking news about transportation greens to help in winter freeze. Should the Secretary of Transportation quit? The camera turns to the Mike, the correspondent for the full story.
There is chaos on roads, and the weather has affected daily commute to work and school. So hundreds of schools have closed. Thank you.
Thanks to Mike. I have a question to ask you. There are chaos on the road, and does anybody have some thinking about this freezing weather?
Yes, there are a school principal said that the Secretary of Transportation just hadn't dealt with the problem. He felt he should resign.
Thanks to Mike. Then we're going to move on to international news. The forest fire hit Australia. So over to Cindy, the correspondent for the full story.
Hello, this is Cindy speaking. Huge area of southern Australia affected by forest fire. At the midnight, hundreds of people forced to leave their home to go other safe place.
Okay. Thank you to Cindy. And Cindy, I have a question to ask you. What the member of the public has said about the forest fire this time?
Member of public say something should be done about people who started fires directly.
Thank you. The next topic is about sport. The world's first 50 million football player. Now, over to Jeff, the correspondent for the full story.
Okay, the young Arizona players has been signed to NFL teams for $15 million. That's amazing. All fans are angry as tickets price high.
Thank you to Jay. And now I have a question. Some question to ask you. Many fans have been angry about it. Why?
Because the ticket price is too high.
Okay. And does any fans has said about this sign?
One fan said it's not fair. I'm going to have to give up his tickets.
Thank you for watching today's news, and this is the most important part of today's news. Thank you.
Yes.
Go.
Good evening. Welcome to the Beauty's News. I'm Sara. First, we start with the breaking news about transportation drive to hold in winter freeze. So over to Annie.
Hello. Hello, I'm Annie. There are clouds on roads. The weather has affected daily commute to work and school. Hundreds of schools have closed. A school principal said that the Secretary of Transportation just hadn't dealt with the problem. He felt he should resign. A member of public complained that why the roads hadn't been prepared before the bad weather. Thank you. Back to Sarah.
Thank you, Annie. Then we can see about the question. Should Secretary of Transportation quit? Okay, next please. Here's a story about international drug traffickers arrested by police. Finally arrested by police. So over to Sally.
Hi, I'm Sally. 40 people have been in one of the biggest drug rings. A police officer said that this would mean far fewer drugs out on the streets. Back to Sarah.
Thank you, Sally. And next is our final news. The story is about the young athlete set track record. So let's over to Iris.
Hi, I'm Iris. A young Australian athlete who is only 14 years old set a new track record in 5,000 meters. He is really young and he is very humble. He said that he was surprised he won, but it was a great feeling for him.
And there's a question for Iris. How did his parents feel?
His parents were proud of him.
Okay, that's today's news. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Good evening. Welcome to the Echo Park News. First, we start with a breaking story about transportation risk to health in winter break. Should Secretary of Transportation quit? Over to Andy.
Yeah, I'm Andy Lee. Okay. There are chaos on the road, and the weather has affected daily commute to the work and the school. Okay, and hundreds of schools have closed. Okay, and one of the school principals said that the Secretary of Transportation just hadn't dealt with the problem, and he felt the transportation the Secretary of the Transportation and should resign. Okay, and one of the members of public said that why hadn't the roads prepared before the bad weather? And I'm thinking that's, yeah, why hadn't, the government is just, I don't want to say it.
So next is a story about forest fires in Australia. So over to Eric.
Hi, I'm Eric. How are you? Due to the area of southern Australia affected by forest fires, hundreds of people forced to leave homes. Member of public said, something must be done about people who starting fires deliberately. Thank you.
Thanks for watching the news.